Welcome. Hey, buddies. Welcome to episode 7 of Weird Blues Tales. And today I'm going to be telling you about the Lincoln House. This was a really weird house. I lived there for 16 years. And I could probably write a whole book on the weird stuff that happened there. I mean, weird stuff happened every day. I mean, it was just weird. The first thing that happened there happened like right after we moved in. And we moved in after the guy that was renting it before disappeared. He rented it. He was there like 2 months and he didn't pay the rent anymore. He grabbed his dog, his clothes, and he was gone. Landlord called me up and said, "You were always our second choice. Do you want to rent the place?" "Yeah, we're in." Anyway, about 2, 3 months in, I'm there with my Canadian lady friend roommate, and I go to hand her the check for the rent, and it falls between us. And we're downstairs in the basement in the TV room, and it's just carpet. There's no junk on the floor. There's not cluttered. It's just carpet, and the check falls between us and just disappears. Just gone. And we'd like tore the place up looking for it. Found it about 10 years later. Behind a TV in a different room. Stuck to the back of it was static electricity. This place was weird. Pretty much stuff went on there on a daily basis. For instance, usually most nights I'd go to bed, I'd be laying there, I'd feel something jump up on the bed, and then I'd feel these little feet pad like some kind of animal, like a cat or a small dog or something. Could have been the ghost of my lizard. He was pretty big. He was about 3 foot long. Buried him in a guitar case. Anyway, I didn't freak out or anything, but it would walk on the bed, you could feel it, and then it would come and lay next to me. I didn't shoo it away or nothing. I thought, geez, maybe it's some dead pet or something. So I just let it be. But this happened pretty much every night. Kind of like company for me, but weird stuff like this happened like all the time. Anyway, one night in the late spring, I was going to bed. I didn't even have my clothes off yet. Even have my clothes off yet. I'm sitting on my bed and I hear crash, and then I hear like a pet walking towards me, and into my bedroom walks this dog, and it goes through my bedroom into the bathroom. Okay, so there's the bathroom, there's my bedroom, and then you go out my bedroom door, there's the living room, then you go back this way, and there's the kitchen, and then there's a stairway about 10 steps going down to a landing to the back door. So anyway, yeah, there's a dog in my bathroom drinking water out of the toilet. This is weird. So I grabbed the dog by the collar, it had a collar, and I'm kind of bent down, and I duck walk through the bedroom, through the living room. I'm thinking, I must have left the back door open and the back gate or something. This is just really weird. I don't have a dog. I've never seen this dog before. And I kept a really tight ship. I didn't even answer the front door. I had my friends go to the back door. If somebody was knocking on the front door, I knew if somebody didn't know me. Anyway, I kept everything locked up tight. So I duck walk in there. I get to the landing, and there's like 10 steps going down to the landing, and then the back door, and then like 15 steps coming back at you going to the basement. Anyway, the landing, I always kept the light on in there. And the light was off, right? So that was weird to start with. But I turned the light on, and as I turn the light on, my brain starts working and says, you know, if you're having a lucid dream, you can't control light. And I just turned the light on, so I don't think this is a dream, but this is really weird. So the back door's locked. I open the back door, I look at the gate's locked. I'm like, okay, this is really weird. So I turn around to go back up the steps, and all of a sudden, the wall that's alongside the stairway disappears. And there's a different stairway going in a 90-degree angle to my stairway. And I look up it, and there's a balustrade. And behind the balustrade is a table with a man sitting at it. He had a mustache and kind of collar-length hair, and he's reading a magazine or a paper or something. And behind him is this lady with shoulder-length dark hair, and she's cooking something. You could see her doing something back there, and she dumps something in a bowl, and there's steam coming off. I'm assuming it's pasta because I'm Italian. And anyway, she puts the bowl in front of the man. I'm just sitting there watching this. My brain's going, pay attention. Pay attention to this. Remember everything. And so, yeah, she sets the bowl in front of the guy, and she looks up at me and she goes, oh, you found our dog. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope he didn't bother you. We're your neighbors. It's so glad to meet you. I hope he didn't bother you. And I'm just, standing there, my brain's staggering, but, I'm trying to keep calm and observe and remember everything. And I'm like, oh, yeah, no problem. Nice to meet you, too. And, yeah, I let the dog go. It ran up the stairs and disappeared. The guy never said anything. But she's like, oh, yeah, it's so nice to meet you, And I turned to look at my stairway, and that stairway disappeared. I walk up my stairway through the kitchen. I go into the living room. There's a big metal tray that used to be on the dining room table. It's on the floor. So that was the crash I heard. I go through the living room, into my bedroom, into the bathroom, and the floor is all wet in front of the toilet where the dog was drinking water. So I cleaned up the water. I go sit on my bed. And all of a sudden I go, what was that? Yeah. So, I mean, that might have been the weirdest thing that happened there. I don't know. I mean, strange things happen there all the time. Pretty much nightly, I had this pet thing come and visit me. One time we were downstairs, and a bird just popped up flying in the middle of the room. It's a bird. And I was trying to like be gentle and catch it and let it outside or something, but it just all of a sudden disappeared. One night I was laying on my bed. And there was a click. A lot of times when weird stuff like this happened, there'd be a preceding it. All of a sudden, around the lamp on the ceiling, these two big fish. They were big. Okay? Big fish. Two popped up. Opposite sides of each other, swimming basically in the air around this light in a big circle. But they didn't have skin. You could see their guts. And they were dark purple and bright green. Their heads were there, their fins were there, but their insides were all visible. And they were kind of glowing. And it just was up there swimming. Two of them. For probably about a minute and a half, and I'm sitting there like waiting for something else to happen. And they disappear. Stuff like this happened all the time. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, this guy was on a lot of drugs. Yeah, well, I was, but that's beside the point. No, I'm just kidding. I wasn't on anything. To cause those kind of hallucinations. So I don't know, man. It was a weird house. Due to some other circumstances that I'll get into in another story, I was forced to move. I moved up to Silver Plum, where I was attacked up there in another house, but I'll tell you that story another time. But yeah, this house was like really strange. There was a blue fairy that came out 3 or 4 times and would dance on my chest. It was about this tall. And about the 4th or 5th night that this thing, it didn't come out every night, like every 2 or 3 months, this thing would just pop up and be dancing on my chest. And it was like a female, about that tall, dark blue. It had these little wings. It didn't really have like features. It didn't have clothes, but you really couldn't like see like breasts or genitalia or wrist wrinkles or anything like that. It was really smooth and all continuous texture. But she would come out and dance on my chest for like 2 or 3 minutes and then snap, be gone. So one night she popped up, snap, she's dancing on my chest. I threw the sheet over her. And she bit me. And as soon as she bit me, I passed out. And I woke up, she was gone, she never came back. But I'm telling you, there were so many things that happened to me in this place that, yeah, I could write a whole book on this house alone, but there was definitely some kind of interdimensional porthole there or something. I'd wake up in the morning, there'd be clothes folded on the stairway. Like all the time this would happen, like 2 or 3 times a month, there'd be clothes folded on the stairway in the morning. Clothes that didn't belong to me, usually a woman's clothes. Got no clue. I would ask people to come over. Is these your clothes? No. I mean, this happened like all the time. I'd get up in the morning and the whole kitchen would smell like coffee, like strong. I can't drink coffee. I don't buy it. I'm telling you, this house was really weird. I've been in some weird places in my life and had some weird things happen to me, but this house definitely took the cake. So yeah, I was forced to move out. I probably would have stayed there because the rent was cheap and I had everything set up the way I wanted it. It took me 2 or 3 years to make that backyard nice, and yeah, it's another story for another time. But that's the story of the Lincoln House. I mean, there's more to it than that, but I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me for episode 7 of Weird Blues Tales. Hope you liked it. Sorry it was so long in coming. I had a few problems. But hopefully episode 8 will be out in 2 weeks. And I can keep this going every 2 weeks like my plan were originally. So I love you all much. Take care of each other. And I'll see you next time for another Weird Blues Tales.